Everyone, this is Karen Fomafung, your Agile Evangelist, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I need us to talk about something very important, the concept of the high performance tree. If you have passed through any of our training, mentorship, coaching programs, you must be very familiar with the concept of the high performance tree, because as you all know, that is my signature tool that I use to help you all be able to land your agile jobs and also help your teams on the field achieve high performance. Now, this concept is a concept that I borrowed from Lisa Atkins. Lisa Atkins is the author of Coaching Agile Teams book. So, by the end of this video, you will be able to understand what the high performance tree tool is. You will also be able to understand how to leverage the concept of high performance tree. You will also be able to hear and understand a practical example of when I have leveraged the concept of the high performance tree. This tool is magic, so please stay tuned and watch carefully until the very end. If you have questions regarding this concept, please, that comment section is there for you. Use that comment section and drop your thoughts. If you have more understanding to share or your own thoughts around the high performance tree or any other tools that you have used to help teams achieve high performance, please, I would like to know them. Thank you so much. Now let's get started. So I actually created this for one team, not one team, like 3 teams. I actually we did a workshop, and then I used this to establish these 3 teams as we're in the process of kicking off. So this was just a part of the content for the kickoff session. But this is from a coaching perspective, though, not from a Scrum Master perspective. But yes, as a Scrum Master, when you join your team, this is one of the things you're looking if they are rooted in the values, in the Scrum values. If they are not rooted in the Scrum values, then that's a perfect opportunity to leverage the high performance tree to help them, reset or set expectations. All right, now, the high performance tree. The high performance tree is a model that I borrowed from Lisa Atkins' book called Coaching Agile Teams, which again, we all, except our new team members, I recommend everyone buy that book because it's a must-have. It's not optional when you are part of this program. I think there are 3 books that are non-optional. If you're a part of this program, you have to get those books, because those books are the things that will help you build you to be solid in the right agile ways of learning, doing things, and upgrade your mental complexity from an agility standpoint. Again, I would still repost the reference link in the chat so that you can go check those books out. Yeah, so this concept was borrowed from Lisa Atkins' book, Coaching Agile Teams. And what is she trying to communicate? What Lisa Atkins is trying to communicate is that when the founders of Scrum decided to birth Scrum, they didn't go sit in that room and they were talking about, oh, what can we do to optimize our processes? That wasn't what they were talking about. And which is why I typically have a problem when people refer to Scrum as process, because it's not a process, it's a framework. They were actually discussing what are some of the values that we could improve to make our work life better and the result we deliver to our customers better. In the process of having that conversation, they established the Scrum values of focus, commitment, openness, respect, and courage. And now, leveraging the concept of the high performance tree, Lisa Atkins mentioned that if we want our teams to become high performing over time, there is no better way to do that than rooting them, make sure they are rooted in the Scrum values. So see this high performance as a tree that we are looking to grow. And then the root of that tree from a team perspective are these values. A team that has the Scrum values as their foundation, as their root, would hardly ever fall because they are that strong from a value perspective. They are not built on process. They are not built on, okay, let's go and do some Scrum events every day. That's not really what they are focusing on. They are focused on how do we show up as a people, as individuals, as a collective. How do we show up every day? And in terms of how they show up every day, let's assess focus. What does focus mean? Focus is actually saying that you will do your job, focus all your efforts and skills on doing the work that you have committed to for that sprint. In our case here, we're talking about the Scrum team. So you're saying that you will put all your focus on that to the best of your ability so that we all are achieving the goal. Because if one person fails, we all are failing. If one person succeeds, we all are succeeding. That's really how it works in the Scrum team. And then the second value is courage. Courage to say that you are brave enough to challenge the status quo. Now we are 17 on this call. Just because 16 people are going left, and in your heart of heart, you know that it's a wrong thing to do. It's wrong. And then you are afraid to be the only one standing on the other side. No. Courage is saying that, yes, you have to be brave enough to be that one person that is standing on the truth, no matter what. So relating it in the Scrum, in the real space, sometimes you will come across leaders that are very intimidating. You will come across your team members that are very intimidating. And then especially some ones that have been in the organization like for 40 years, you are just a new Scrum Master. And then all the things that you've learned in this program, they are saying something that clearly you know that that's not supposed to be so. And then you are so afraid to say the right thing because you don't want to come across as, okay, who are you? You see, you're afraid that you'll be hated. You want to be loved. So you're just doing that fake friendly thing instead of standing on the truth. Sometimes you see leaders that are interfering in the team's thing and affecting their ability to focus, distracting them, and you are afraid to go face that leader and expose this impediment and work with them on how to resolve it because you're just worried, what would they think about me? What if he curses me out? What? And all of that. No. Scrum is saying that in these values, you should be courageous enough to take on these things. Be courageous enough to be the first. Be courageous enough to put your neck on the line. Be courageous enough to speak the truth with no matter what. And then respect. Respect is actually saying that we as a team, we would appreciate everyone's opinion, regardless of their background, regardless of their skill set. Everyone's opinion matters. Even when we disagree to agree. We want an environment where everyone feels psychologically safe to speak up at every time because they know they will not be judged. That's what respect means. Openness. Openness is actually saying that as a team, we will be transparent with information, with challenges, with successes, with tools and techniques, so that with all this level of transparency, we remain on track towards achieving our common goal. And we are able to give the support to each other as needed. That is what openness is. Because let's use our case here, for example. Let's say Laura is struggling with something from an agile perspective, and Laura is not sharing that when we connect on our Mondays and Wednesday calls. Even when you connect in your practice sessions, Laura is not saying anything. There's no way you would know that Laura is struggling, and then Laura would definitely not get the help they need. And then imagine that it's a team project you all are working on. Maybe you're working on getting ready to present your sprint review live session on a Monday or Wednesday. And then Laura has volunteered to be the product owner. Laura has no idea how to go in the product backlog and create even one iUser story. And then Laura didn't say anything. You didn't know that Laura is struggling with anything. And then we are now live to do our sprint review. And Laura have nothing to show. And then right there, Laura is saying that I didn't know how to do it. How would that help us? What this example I just gave is exactly what you will see in real life. Sometimes this team members would say things on the last day of the sprint where in your head you just want to hold someone and give them a serious spank. Like, why didn't you say something? You had this opportunity during all of the daily scrums we've had so far, the chats we've had so far. Why didn't you say anything? So that is the meaning of openness right there. And then commitment. Commitment is we are saying that as a team, we would do our utmost best from the place of truth so that we all are achieving a common goal. You see why I typically insist that if you're saying that you're joining the practice sessions, you're saying that you will be committed to your team members, because you're not committing to work though. You're committing to your team members as well as they're committing to you. So that is it for the Scrum values. So as a team, if our roots are these values, that is how we want to show up as individuals and as a collective, we will begin to observe things like this over time. So see these as the branches where you start observing, or the characteristics. You start observing this kind of characteristics in these teams. Teams that trust each other, they'll begin to trust each other. You start observing teams that believe they can solve any problem, no matter the kind of problem it is. Because they know that the people will be courageous to be the first to take on these things, and they'll figure it out, and no one is judging them because they have respect for each other. Teams that are self-organizing, which means that they are not waiting to be told what to do. They just go out there and they're figuring out on their own. And if they have challenges, they are accountable to escalating those challenges. Teams that are consensus driven. It's not one person's way or the highway. They believe that they need to get everyone's opinion, buy in before they finally settle on a decision. Teams that owns their decision and commitment, because they know that this thing they are doing is theirs. So they are making their decisions and their commitments to each other. Teams that are empowered. So these teams, they don't wait to be assigned things. They know that they're empowered to go ahead and do stuff, and the outcome of it, they are accountable for it, whether good or bad. Teams that believe that, so you would also be observing team success. They sit together when you're seeing all these things. And teams that actually see disagreement as an opportunity, because they're able to separate the issue from the person, and they focus on the issue and resolve that issue. So that's what we mean by constructive disagreement. So that will be the characteristics of teams that are rooted in the Scrum values. And then what will happen? Once we start seeing those characteristics, the result now will be a high-performing team, and they'll start yielding this kind of fruits. Teams that can do anything, that's the fruits that they will benefit. They will start reaping from just being rooted in the Scrum values, and they start observing those characteristics, and they start yielding this kind of fruits over time. Teams that have room for individual and team growth. It's just not about me. They actually care about each other like that, and they've come up with ways that they all can grow as individuals and as a collective. Teams that get business value faster. We'd also be seeing teams that get the right business value. It's not just about getting the value faster, but getting the right business value. And then we'd also be observing teams that achieve astonishing results. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Every time we hear about a high performance tree, this is this is really what that means. It all starts from the team that is rooted in the Scrum values. So how do I use this information in real life though? We are 5 minutes over time, so please, if you want to hang up, please feel free to do so, because this is being recorded. You can catch up from the recording. Otherwise, you're welcome. So in while I'm helping teams, as an agile coach, if I observe that these teams, they say things that they don't do them, and they think it's okay. Sometimes they will say things that they were going to do this thing, and then the next day during daily scrum, they are still talking about that same thing. No progress. And they don't feel like they have to give any explanation on what happened, like they have something blocked them or nothing. And they think it's okay. Okay, That's a red flag for me. Seeing that they would have challenges and they are not saying anything. It may be because they are intimidated, they don't have psychological safety, or they just don't think they owe anybody any explanation on being open with what is going on. They don't respect each other. If someone, junior developer, want to speak, the senior one shut them up. Those kind of things. When I catch those kind of things, okay, my head will just go straight. Okay, these teams, they don't have morals. They don't have the Scrum values. They are not rooted in the Scrum values. And then in the process of me setting clear expectations, usually during the beginning of me start the OLA phase. I know our new team members may not know what I'm talking about. So OLA is an acronym that I designed. It means observe, listen, ask questions after you join a new team. That's the first thing you want to do. So after I've gone through that OLA phase, and then the next thing I'll do when I want to start taking action is, okay, let's reset. And this is one of the things that I address during the resetting phase. I'm not saying you guys are not doing this, you're not doing that. I'm only explaining like I explained to you. Then from most of the time, it will allow, and then I'll start asking them. I'll tell them now, the reason why I'm pointing out these things is so that as a team, we all can start asking ourselves, assessing ourselves to see if this is where we are and what can we improve? What are we already doing right from this values perspective, and what can we improve? And then I even go ahead to tell them again, most teams that have helped in the past, they usually establish this as their rules of engagement as a team in their working agreement. So now when they go to update their working agreement, you see they'll start updating and adding these as their core values as a team. And then moving forward, you start seeing that they want to make sure that they are living by these values. And then over time, they become rooted in it. So that's the end of my story. Miss Roslyn, I see your hand up. I can spend 2 more minutes here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach. Honestly, I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can say about this. You've given us, even though, yeah, I understand it before you give me more knowledge right now. But to be honest with you and honest with everyone here, when I was listening to that Lisa Atkins, it took me time because of the way she would speak, you know, it was so
Please,
hard for me.
I understand, but let's just make sure we we give honor to whom honor is due, because this is an idea that I just borrowed.
No. Your own explanation is well explained, you
Okay.
know. So I really appreciate it, and I know everyone do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate the feedback. All right, team. Any other question, please? Oh. That's the end of the video. I hope this was very helpful. I hope you enjoy every minute. If that's the case, please show us appreciation by sharing this content so it can reach more viewers. Like, share, support us as much as you can. And if you are interested in learning more about business agility, if you're looking to transition into this career path, Being Agile Consulting can definitely help you. Please send us an email. Visit our website, beingagileconsulting.com. Our email is info@beingagileconsulting.com, or you can call us directly through WhatsApp or direct call. Send us a text and we'll be more than happy to give you a free orientation on which program will best help you achieve your goals. So some of the programs that we offer is we offer certification training programs on Scrum Master, Safe Scrum Master, Agile Coach. Are you interested in becoming an Agile Coach, not just a Scrum Master? You're looking to scale. We can definitely help you achieve that. We also offer hands-on practical mentorship and coaching program that is tailored as an apprenticeship. Now, by the time you're done, you have solid experience that will build your confidence to succeed in your interview and sustain your high-paying job long term. So do not wait. Really, we are already in February 2024. Do not wait for no reason. Take action today. That's the only way you'll be able to see results. And we'll be more than happy to partner with you throughout this journey and celebrate you at the end. We have many people getting jobs lately. I want to be able to celebrate you. Thank you so much and see you in class. Bye.